So I'm reading this book, or just finished this book called Parenting from the Inside Out by Dr. Dan Siegel. Big fan of his. Talked about him on the show before. And what he was talking about is how when we have children, a lot of times decisions we made, things we believe, these little things that really probably weren't that consequential in our life before children can kind of come to the surface. And we start to realize, if we're open to it, that we're holding on to ideas and decisions that we made and adopted when we were children, and they've stuck with us into adulthood, even if they're out of place. And I thought to myself, wow, that's really outside of having children. That's something that we can take a lot away from. And I think that personally, I find a lot of value in openness to experiences. I think a lot of that comes from my life not feeling like it made sense as a kid. So I kind of leaned into curiosity as a way to kind of try to sort it out for myself. But in my coaching practice and people, in my life in general, I find this value in being very open to experiences. And I think that those two things correlate. I think that if we can immerse ourselves in novelty from time to time, not all the time, and that can be done in a variety of different ways. That can be trying something new, that can be meeting new people, that can be challenging your ideas, that can be seeing a movie you didn't think you'd want to see just because it's a little something different. It could be psychedelics, it could be all kinds of things. It could be going to Burning Man or some kind of festival. These like immersive experiences where you're really balls deep in novelty, right? That can shake you out of some old ideas and old paradigms, because whether you like it or not, me, you, everybody listening to this, everybody we know, we're holding on to ideas and beliefs that we accepted into our life as children, right? And the idea that all of those are good is a little bit naive. And I think with that, we can think about that in relationships and politics and religion, these different things, right? But that make up our personality and how we present ourselves to the world. And might not be the best for us, right? But if we don't go through and put ourselves in situations where we have the ability to see those things and challenge those things, well, then we just keep perpetuating the same cycles over and over again. So what I think you could think about is looking into areas of your life where you may be a little more rigid than you like to believe, right? Whether that's ideas or the way you think about something, the way you do a thing. And just for shits and giggles, step outside of that and try something different for the sake of novelty. Because while constant novelty will have us running on this kind of hedonic treadmill and never really able to get enough, right? Always chasing that next kind of ecstatic novelty filled experience, right? That might become toxic and unhelpful for you, like maybe a little bit problematic of a cycle and a negative feedback loop, if you will, like really moves us in the wrong direction. But I think consciously and mindfully applying novelty and openness to new experiences in certain areas of your life where you feel like you're not getting much out of them, right? Where you feel like you may be under delivering for yourself can be really helpful. So maybe take a little bit of time, look at your life, look where you're rigid, and wherever that rigidity exists, maybe it's good. But even if it is good, even if that rigidity and that steadfastness is good, well, that'll be proved through challenging it with novelty and openness. And maybe through that challenge, you might find out that a little bit more wiggliness, a little bit more flexibility in those areas could lead to a more fulfilling way of life.